Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at the 9-Point Knives Custom Lynx. This knife is completely made here in the US. Anything outsourced is also done in the US. Love to see that and love to support that. Dominic of 9-Point Knives reached out to me and said that me and a few other reviewers played a part in him wanting to start making knives, and he's been a supporter of the channel for a while, so he wanted to send me a knife and just let me check it out. And you know, he said if I wanted to review it, I could. I didn't have to. He said I could do whatever I wanted with it. But that's something that really brings me joy, is to be able to support smaller businesses and fellow knife collectors like Dominic. He is an avid outdoorsman, and kind of made sense, you know. He started dabbling into knife making. I don't think he's been doing it all that long, and for that knowledge, that's very impressive. So we're taking a look at one of his Lynx models. He has other models besides the Lynx. His most popular flagship model is his Bobcat model. Hopefully I have that up on the screen now. And I'm glad I did this video today because there are some knives available right now as we speak. And, you know, it's not always easy to get that done because he did a drop here recently. He does small batch production. And if you're interested in one of these, he does have an email list just in case something's sold out and you want to try to get in on it. You can sign up for his email list. That way you'll be notified whenever something drops. Then he also has his Coyote model. I'll probably buy one of the Bobcats. I'd like try to get his whole lineup because I'm enjoying this one that much. So let's take a look at this one. Comes with a nice fold over taco style kydex sheath, just the way I like it. Keeps it nice and minimal. Got a nice thumb ramp to push off on. And it comes with this pocket clip attachment. You can either drop it in the pocket, that's how I carry it, or you could hook that to the belt if you'd like. And then he's also doing some prototyping with some leather sheaths like this with the Alti clip on it. One of my favorite clips. This one he sent, it works just fine, but they're trying to find a little bit more rigid leather. So he offers micarta like I have here, or you can get G10. He has sculpted, like you see here. It's kind of like a Anzo pattern on the side. He also has smooth scales as well. They're bolt-on construction, very nicely done. The micarta is nice and grippy. This is more like an olive color. I think it's an OD, but it has more like an olive tint to it. Nice large Torx heads there. I'm guessing that's either Torx or Allen's, I'm not sure. It does have a lanyard hole. And this is probably perfect size that I love to pocket carry. This is coming in at 6.5 inches long. It's got a 3-inch, I guess you could either call it reverse tanto, modified sheep's foot, whatever you want to call it. It's a blade, and it's in Nitro V stainless steel, and is professionally heat treated from 60 to 62 HRC. He does have some jimping up top. Now, of course, I prefer fine cut jimping. I find it's more effective. But I will say this one works just fine. It wasn't super uncomfortable or anything in this saber grip, but a lot of times I was holding it back here. It's got a nice little ramp right there, and I can still get a nice purchase there. And then if I want to overshoot that jimping, I can get right up in here to do some drag cuts as well. I like the finish he has on it. It looks like an acid wash that's been brushed finished and stone washed. It's very nice and attractive looking. I love his maker's mark, the 9-point right there. And then check this out, peeps. We got a perfectly executed sharpening tool there. Yeah, very nice. And check this bevel out. He must sharpen these on a fixed angled system because it's almost a complete mirror polish. It was even shinier than this, but this is post testing. And yeah, I'll say right off the back, I noticed how extremely sticky sharp this thing was. Very nice and sharp. It's a low flat saber grind right here. Now, it's not the thinnest behind the edge, and I get it. This is geared a lot toward the outdoors, you know, hunting and stuff like that, to where you might be coming in contact with a bone or something if you're field dressing game or something. So I get it. Now, of course, I would love to see one of his models, either this one or the Bobcat. It would be nice to see one of them like super thin right here. That's my go-to. But this is coming in at 29 thousandths behind the edge at the thinnest portion. But now I think it's time to do a little testing. Man, the first thing I noticed whenever I got this blade out of the box is how incredibly sharp it was to the touch. And from the looks of it, it is sharpened on a fixed angled system because it's a very straight, even bevel. and it's pretty close to a mirror polished edge. So excellent job on that. And it's always nice to have a nice sharp edge to do testing with. And man, it's slicing so well that I end up grabbing 2 more pieces of the cardboard, 1 more of the long piece and 1 more of the sharp piece, and it's blasting through it. Love this blade shape. It should be highly versatile because you have just a little bit of belly, enough belly to where you can cut on a flat cutting surface easy, and making these cuts is going to be a breeze as well. Even though it's just a 3-inch edge, you can get a lot done, especially when you got this sharp of an edge. So yeah, cardboard, making short work of it, no problem. And so far, of course, I got gloves on, but it's nice and comfortable. I'm doing the light duty stuff for sure. And I can't wait to see how it does on the rest of the testing. But yeah, excellent edge. That's the first thing I can say right off the bat. They come nice and screaming sharp. Nothing worse than a dull one. Now we're going to test the air goes and see how that edge wants to bite. Yeah, it wanted to bite fast, so I'm using very light pressure here. Once again, I love this blade shape for doing feather sticks and stuff like this. For me, it just makes it a little bit easier. And I start slowly increasing the pressure. And I will say the handle was extremely comfortable and ergonomic. No hot spots at all. Now, if they were a little thicker, you could probably do this for even longer. But, that said, it was perfectly fine for making a feather stick. And this first cut on this 1/2-inch sisal rope, look, I'm not going to speed it up for a little while because I want y'all to see how easy it's push cutting this sisal rope. I mean, it felt like butter, hot knife through butter. And at this point right here, I'm like, yep, I'm loving it. So blasting through the sisal rope. You can see me swapping grips just to see where I want to sit. Pinch grip was probably my favorite, but you got good jimping that really grip the finger whenever I had my gloves on. And I can either come up there if I want. You can either come, or you can come back where the little ramp comes up onto the spine. Everything every which way I cut was nice and comfortable, but this was just the fastest method, and it's usually my go-to method to cut in that pinch grip, just because my hands cramp up pretty easily since the accident. So yeah, for me, even though I always get blisters, I always get a big blister on that index finger, it's just my without thinking grip. Yeah, that was it. That you just saw me. I added another piece of rope because it's doing so well. And I even add another small little piece of rope at the end because this thing was cutting so well. So it did not feel like it was slowing down in the least. We ended up getting through 300 cuts with this Nitro V blade. I'm going to tell you right now, this Nitro V, if I had to take a wild guess, I'll check for that when we do the actual review. But if I had to take a wild guess, I would say this is probably 61 HRC. 61, maybe close to 62, but the reason I'm saying that is because I've tested a lot of Nitro V from these production companies, and a lot of them are 58, 59 HRC. I can promise you that. And this one is blowing those out of the water. And it's not even a super thin geometry on the knife because it's made for like a hunting style knife, so you want it a little bit tougher, and I get it. But even with the little bit thicker geometry behind the edge, it is just making short work of this type of stuff. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, right when I get done with this test, I was so happy with the way this one performed. Before I finished the test up, I went by a second model. I went by another knife from Point Knives, a different model, so I could show some support to them. So that it's going to really excel. These drag cuts, you see me cutting 4 because it was cutting it so effortless. And everything that I put in front of it, it just dominated. And it's always exciting whenever I test these custom fixed blades because you can always pretty much bank on their heat treat being nice and proper. And they always just do so much better than any of those production knives that I test. And it makes me not want to test those other ones. So outstanding job. Man, to say I enjoy testing this one is an understatement. I had so much fun testing this one. You know, anytime you see me adding more things to the test, like more cardboard, more rope, that means it's comfortable and it's performing really, really well. And this one did both of those. Yeah, it was very, very enjoyable. Like I said, in the testing, enough so to where after I finished the Sisal rope testing, I stopped what I was doing and went order another one of his models. I want to show some support to him. Like I said, he sent this one in for free. So, you know, I thought that's the least I could do is show my support because of how much I liked it. Here's a shot of it in the pocket. I've been carrying this one all day today. I'm doing yard work outside, trimming some bushes. And of course, it's getting a lot of sweat on it. I haven't had any corrosion at all. And the clip keeps it nice and deep in the pocket, especially with my lightweight shorts. You can't even see it. When I sit down, it's fine. It's not stabbing me in the leg. And I can easily go in there, retrieve the knife. And just like I do with all my other ones, whenever I'm wearing these shorts, I just pop this up like this. Boom. Then go about my day. And whenever my shirt's covered, you wouldn't even know I had a fixed blade in my pocket. Love the sheath. Also want to show if he does start carrying the leather slip with the Alti clip, it fits just as good. Don't feel it at all. You know, and even with rigid leather, it should stay on the side of you pretty much. And with this one's a little bit loose because it's softer leather, but the ones that they're trying to make are going to be thicker leather, but it holds the knife just fine. And the same way, I usually put the spine up against the back of the sheath and just push it down. So, love both of them. All right, now let's take a look at the handle area. Like I said, I have canvas micarta. It's like a olive color. It's probably an OD if I had to take a guess. Bolt on. So if you need to clean it out for some reason, you can. Nitro V has very good corrosion resistance. I've never had any of my Nitro V rusting on me. So, you know, that's a testament. I live here in Louisiana where we have super high humidity. These scales are nice and comfortable. You don't have any crazy choils or anything besides this one right here, which is very comfortable. Fits my medium-sized hands perfectly. I get a nice 4-finger grip on it. Got a little bit left over. If you had large, extra large hands and say if your hands were coming off the end, you do have a lanyard hole right there that you could tie a lanyard on there to get a little bit extra grip. It's awesome to see that he uses this same handle for all of his models because he said he did a lot of testing over the years and he wanted to make a handle that was nice and comfortable. I think he did a great job. The only thing that you could do to make it even better is if they were a little thicker, but that would make it more bulky. And as an EDC carry, I think this is perfect. No sharp areas. He knocked off any of the hard points. And if texture scales aren't your thing, he does have flat scales as well. He even has some, it looks like maybe laser engraved. There was a Topo one. Of course, full tank construction. Now, if this is a Torx, it is a Torx T8. Love seeing that. I like how he used big old hardware. They're nice and countersunk in there. The scales are perfectly mated. There's no high spots, nothing sticking up. Everything is perfectly done there. And then if you look right here, his two tops of the scales are completely flush as well. They're matching on both sides. Here's a quick weight. Without the sheath is 3.43 ounces. With the sheath, as long as this is the Kydex and this clip, it's coming in at 5.27 ounces. And I'll tell you, it carried very, very well. Now for some quick size comparisons, we have the White River Knives M1 and the Essie Azula 2. It's very similar to the Azula 2. It's just a hair shorter, and it's a little bit shorter than the M1. Next up, we have the Asher Knives Lil Buddy and the Schwartz Knives Overland Sport. It's shorter than the Lil Buddy, but it's just about identical in length to the Schwartz Knives Overland Sport. Next up, we have the Smith & Sons Axiom and then the BGM Knives Mini Spade. It's a little bit shorter than the Axiom, and it's about identical to the Mini Spade. We have two locking folders, the Ontario Rat 1 and 2. It's a good bit smaller than the Rat 1, and it's even a little smaller than the Rat 2. And it's also a little smaller than the Hogue Ritter Mini RSK and the Spyderco Power 3. All right, nitpicks and complaints. Now, this is a custom fixed blade, so these are very minor nitpicks because I liked it enough to where I went out and purchased my own, so take this with a grain of salt. Of course, I would love to see at least one of his models, one of his smaller compact models with a super thin grind. That way it would perform even better, which is kind of crazy to think because this one performed outstanding. And to think he's only been making knives for a short period of time, that's crazy. Very, very quality product. He'll notify you whenever he's doing drops. So if you miss out on the ones he has on his site, sign up for his newsletter so you'll be notified when the next drop is. And also follow him on Instagram. I'll have all his necessary links down in the description. And man, now I'm so excited. I can't wait to check out the one I just purchased. It looks awesome as well. It's a little bit bigger than this one. But like I said earlier in the video, my goal is to own all 4 of his models, his current models, eventually. And Dominic, thank you. This was an absolute joy to use. And thanks for all the kind words. So definitely go check out what he has to offer. Promise you won't be disappointed. If I was disappointed, I promise you I wouldn't have purchased another one. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one. Whoosh!